Life can sometimes feel like a series of locked doors. You knock, you wait, sometimes you walk away. But today I came to remind you, God is not limited by the doors you see. He's the master of doors you can't see yet. While you're worried about plan A, God has already prepared plan B, C, and D. Doors you didn't apply for, opportunities you didn't campaign for, blessings you didn't even pray for. When it's your time, the right door will open, and you won't have to force it, beg for it, or chase it. God's favor will find you. His goodness will overtake you. His plan will surprise you. Get ready. Something beyond your imagination is about to swing open. You see, in life, we often judge our future based on what we can see in front of us. We measure what's possible by what we understand. We plan according to what doors are visible to us. But hear me tonight. God is not limited by your sight. He's not restricted to the doors you know about. He is not confined to the opportunities you think are available. God sees doors you cannot see. While you are looking at one path, worried because it looks blocked, God has 100 other paths prepared. While you're pacing the floor, anxious about a missed opportunity, God is already arranging something you haven't even imagined yet. Just because you can't see a way doesn't mean there isn't a way. You don't have to see it for it to be real. You don't have to understand it for it to be in motion. God's work often begins in the invisible, long before it becomes visible to you. Maybe today, you feel like you've hit a dead end. You've prayed, you've planned, you've knocked, and still, the door hasn't opened. It's easy to get discouraged. It's tempting to think that maybe it's just not meant to happen. But what if the delay isn't rejection? What if it's redirection? What if the no you heard was actually a setup for a bigger yes? Just because one door didn't open doesn't mean the story is over. God might be guiding you to a door you don't even know exists yet. Sometimes the greatest blessings are not the ones we chase, but the ones we discover along the way. Think about it. Some of the most life-changing moments in your story didn't come because you planned them. They came because life surprised you. You didn't knock on that door. You didn't orchestrate it. God just opened it because it was part of His design for your destiny. That's why you can't live limited by what you can see. You have to trust that behind the scenes, in the places you can't reach, God is working. He's speaking to people about you. He's preparing rooms where your name is being mentioned. He's lining up opportunities where you haven't even submitted an application. God is ahead of you. He's in your future right now, working things out for your good. It reminds me sometimes we're so focused on the locked doors that we miss the open ones. We're so stuck on what didn't happen that we don't see what God is doing right now. Maybe that relationship ended, but could it be that God was making space for a better one? Maybe that job fell through, but could it be that He's setting you up for something you couldn't have even qualified for in your own strength? Sometimes God has to block what you want to bless you with what you need. And the amazing thing about God's doors, they don't just open, they open at the right time. He doesn't just make a way. He makes the way better than you imagine. When God opens a door, no man can shut it. No boss can block it. No hater can stop it. No situation can delay it. If God says it's yours, and you don't have to manipulate it. You don't have to fight for it. You just have to walk through it when it opens. So tonight I encourage you, don't get discouraged by what you can see. Trust the God who sees beyond. Trust the God who holds doors you haven't even dreamed about yet. Keep your faith strong. Stay expectant. Stay hopeful. Because somewhere beyond what you can see, beyond what you understand, beyond what you even think is possible, God is preparing a door you didn't knock on. And when the time is right, it's going to swing wide open. And when it opens, you're going to look back and say, wow, I didn't even know this was possible. I didn't even know this door existed. That's the kind of God we serve. A God of surprises. A God of overflow. A God of unseen doors. Faith is powerful. Faith is not just a belief. It's a force. It's a magnet that pulls unseen blessings into the seen world. When you walk by faith, when you choose to believe even when there's no evidence yet, you activate something in the spiritual realm that starts pulling favor, pulling opportunities, pulling open doors into your life. You may not realize it, but right now, your faith is doing work behind the scenes. Every time you say, I don't see it yet, but I believe it's coming, you're pulling something closer. Every time you get up in the morning and thank God for what He's doing, even though you can't see it yet, you're attracting the miraculous into your life. Faith is not passive. It's not just sitting around hoping. Faith is active. It moves things. It calls things that are not as though they were. You have to understand, God responds to faith. Heaven moves at the sound of faith, not at the sound of complaining, not at the sound of fear, not at the sound of worry. It's the sound of faith that unlocks doors no man can shut. Faith says, I may not see the door yet, but I know it's coming. I may not see the opportunity yet, but I know it's on its way. Faith keeps you ready. It keeps your heart open. It keeps you in position to receive what God is about to release. And here's the truth. Sometimes the reason we don't see new doors opening is because we've let our faith get tired. We've let disappointment water down our expectations. We've let delays convince us that maybe it's not going to happen. But I'm here to tell you tonight, reignite your faith. Stir it up again. Dream again. Believe again. Expect again. Because your faith is pulling something into your life that you cannot afford to miss. Faith is not a feeling. If you're waiting to feel it, you'll miss it. Faith is a decision. It's a choice you make every single day. When your emotions tell you to give up, faith says hold on. When your circumstances say it's impossible, faith says with God, all things are possible. When the door looks locked, faith says my God holds the keys. Maybe today you're standing in front of a door that looks impossible. Maybe you're facing a situation that feels too big, too far, too unlikely. But can I remind you, you don't need to figure out how it's going to happen. You just need to keep your faith alive. You just need to stay in belief. Because the size of your faith determines the size of your breakthrough. Little faith attracts little doors. Big faith attracts doors you can't even explain. When you step into radical faith, the kind of faith that says even if I don't see it, I still believe, that's when heaven starts moving. That's when the atmosphere around you begins to shift. That's when closed doors start trembling on their hinges, because they know faith is coming. And let me tell you this, sometimes God will wait until the last second, until you're stretched thin, until you think it's too late, just to show you the power of faith. He'll let it look impossible, so that when the door swings open, you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It wasn't your own doing. It was your faith reaching into heaven and pulling down what only God could release. So if you're tired today, if you're tempted to lower your expectations, if you're wondering if it's ever going to happen, don't give up on your faith. That door you're waiting on, that opportunity you're dreaming about, that breakthrough you've been praying for, it's already on the way. Your faith is pulling it closer every second. Stay expectant. Stay hopeful. Speak life over your future. Walk like it's already done. Praise like it's already answered. Thank God like it's already yours. Because when you move in faith, you move closer to the door that is about to open for you. And when it opens, it won't just be any door. It'll be the right door. The door designed by God. The door that no man, no circumstance, no opposition will be able to close. It's coming because your faith is pulling it into your life right now. One of the greatest pressures we put on ourselves is the feeling that we have to make everything happen. We have to push. We have to pull. We have to hustle and grind and chase and fight for every single thing. And while there's nothing wrong with working hard, there is a deeper truth that I want to speak over you today. You don't have to force what God has already finished. If God has spoken it over your life, it's already settled. It's already established in heaven. It's already signed, sealed, and scheduled. You don't have to twist yourself into knots trying to make it happen faster. You don't have to manipulate the situation. You don't have to convince people to choose you. You don't have to exhaust yourself trying to open a door that God already said is yours. When He declares it, it's done. It may not be done in your timing. It may not look done with your natural eyes. But in the spirit realm, it's finished. And your job is not to force it, but to trust the process. See, when you believe that it's already finished, you start to move differently. You stop striving and start resting. Not resting because you're lazy. Resting because you know the victory is already yours. You stop panicking and start praising. You stop worrying and start worshiping. You stop chasing what's already chasing you. The blessing is not running from you. It's running toward you. The open door is already aligned with your footsteps. I think about how many times we wear ourselves out trying to kick down doors that God never asked us to kick. We force relationships. We force promotions. We force opportunity. We think if I could just do a little more, say the right thing, meet the right person, maybe it'll happen. But can I tell you, what's for you is for you. And if it's truly from God, you won't have to force it. His favor will cause the right people to find you. His timing will cause the right doors to open without you having to break them down. When you trust that God has already finished it, you stop living with a spirit of desperation. You stop moving like you're about to miss out. Desperation causes you to settle. Desperation causes you to say yes to things you should say no to. Desperation causes you to run ahead of God. But when you know it's already done, you can be patient. You can be at peace. You can say, I'm not going to accept just any door. I'm waiting for the one God finished with my name on it. It's like planting a seed. When you put the seed in the ground, you don't stand there trying to force it to grow. You don't dig it up every 5 minutes to see if it's working. No, you plant it. You water it. And you trust the process. You believe that even though you can't see anything yet, something powerful is happening underground. That seed is pushing, reaching, growing. And one day breakthrough will break through the surface. That's how God's promises are in your life. They're growing even when you can't see them. They're moving toward manifestation, even when you feel stuck. You don't have to force the bloom. You just have to trust the roots are doing their work. Maybe today you feel stuck because you're looking around and nothing seems to be moving. Don't settle for what you can force when God is preparing something you could never have orchestrated. Don't settle for a small door when God has a great door in the making. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Heaven is not on hold. The finish line has already been drawn. The door has already been prepared. The blessing has already been approved. You are just walking it out step by step until your life catches up with what God already finished. So tonight, take the pressure off your shoulders. Let go of the need to control it all. Let go of the fear that you're missing out. Trust the God who knows the end from the beginning. Trust the one who already declared you victorious. You don't have to force it. You just have to stay faithful, stay obedient, stay ready. And when the time is right, what God already finished will find you, will favor you, and will flow into your life effortlessly. One of the hardest things we deal with in life is waiting. Waiting for the relationship, waiting for the promotion, waiting for the dream to come alive. And if we're honest, there are seasons where the waiting feels endless, where the silence feels deafening, and where you start to wonder, did God forget about me? Did I miss my moment? Is it ever going to happen? But hear me tonight. Delay is not denial. It's preparation. Just because it's taking longer than you thought doesn't mean it's not coming. Just because you don't see movement right now doesn't mean God isn't working. Delay doesn't mean God changed his mind. Delay doesn't mean the promise expired. Delay simply means that God is getting you ready, shaping you, positioning you, strengthening you. Because what's coming is bigger than what you asked for. Sometimes you're asking for the blessing, but God is preparing you for the weight of the blessing. See, it's easy to want the door to open today. It's easy to say, God, I'm ready now. But what if the door you're asking for holds more responsibility, more influence, more pressure than you're ready to carry right now? A good father doesn't hand the keys to a car to a child who hasn't learned to drive yet. Not because he doesn't love the child, but because he loves them enough to protect them until they're ready. That's what your delay is doing. It's building your endurance. It's sharpening your character. It's increasing your faith muscles. It's teaching you to trust even when you don't understand. It's preparing your heart so that when the door opens, you'll be able to walk through it strong, steady, and ready for everything on the other side. Delay is not punishment. It's preparation for the weight of the glory that's coming. God is using it to deposit wisdom into you, to download strategies into you, to prune the areas of your life that can't go with you into the next level. You are being refined like gold in the fire. You are being equipped for doors you haven't even seen yet. Sometimes God withholds the door not because he's being cruel, but because he's protecting your destiny. He knows that if he opens the door too soon, the enemy will try to exploit your immaturity, your insecurity, your unhealed places. So God says, not yet. I love you too much to let you walk into something you're not fully prepared to handle. And can I tell you, when God gets done preparing you,
When you come out of that season, you won't just walk through the door, you'll own the room. You'll have wisdom you didn't have before. You'll have strength you didn't even know you were capable of. You'll have authority that only comes from the deep places of trust and obedience. Preparation seasons produce powerful people. So don't despise the delay. Don't curse the waiting room. Don't let impatience steal your joy. Don't let comparison make you think you're behind. God's timing is perfect. His plans are sure, and He knows exactly when to open the right door. And when it opens, you're not going to have to force your way in. You're going to walk in fully prepared, fully equipped, and fully anointed for everything He's called you to do. Tonight I want you to shift your perspective about the delay. Instead of asking, "Why am I waiting?" start asking, "God, what are you preparing in me while I wait?" Instead of being frustrated, be expectant. My delay is setting me up for a blessing so big that I won't even have room enough to receive it. And trust me, when the door finally swings open, when the opportunity finally arrives, when the blessing finally drops in your lap, you're going to realize it was worth every second of the wait. It was worth every tear. It was worth every lonely night. It was worth every night. Because what God is preparing you for is bigger, better, and more beautiful than anything you could have prepared for yourself. So hold on. Stay faithful, stay expectant. Delay is not denial. It's preparation for your destiny.
There are some doors in life that hard work can open. There are some opportunities that preparation and persistence can unlock. But there are also doors, divine doors, that no amount of effort, no amount of striving, no amount of hustling will ever be able to open. Those are the doors that only the favor of God can open. You can have all the qualifications, you can have all the connections, you can have the perfect resume, but without the favor of God, some doors will remain shut. And on the flip side, you might not have all the qualifications, you might not have the right background, you might not even have the experience, but when the favor of God is on your life, doors will open that no man can shut. People will look at you and wonder, how did they get that opportunity? How did they step into that blessing? How did they move into that position? And you'll be able to say, it wasn't me, it was the favor of God. Favor is when God causes people to like you without knowing why. Favor is when God speaks your name in rooms you've never even walked into yet. Favor is when God promotes you without you having to campaign for it. Favor is when God lifts you, blesses you, establishes you in ways you could have never orchestrated on your own. Favor is the difference maker. You see, effort is good. God honors diligence. God honors stewardship. God honors excellence. But there comes a point where effort ends and favor takes over. There's a point where you realize, I've done all I can in the natural. Now I'm trusting God to do what only He can do in the supernatural. That's when you step out of striving and step into grace. That's when you stop stressing and start resting in the truth that what God has for you, no man can take away. I'm not saying you don't show up. I'm not saying you don't give it your best. But I am saying don't think it's all up to you. Don't think that if you don't grind hard enough, you're going to miss what God has for you. Don't let the world convince you that hustle is the only path to success. In the kingdom of God, favor outruns hustle every time. Favor does in a moment what labor can't do in a lifetime. And the beautiful thing about God's favor is that it levels the playing field. You might have been overlooked by people, but you're handpicked by God. You might have been counted out by the world, but you're counted in by heaven. Favor doesn't check your pedigree. Favor doesn't ask who your parents were. Favor doesn't care if you came from the right side of town. Favor says because you belong to God, because you're walking in obedience, because you're keeping your heart right, I'm going to bless you beyond your ability. Some of you are about to step into rooms you didn't build. Some of you are about to inherit opportunities you didn't apply for. Some of you are about to receive blessings that you didn't even know were coming your way, not because you earned them, but because you're favored. And favor will take you further faster. When you understand that, you stop stressing over every little detail. You stop worrying about who's for you and who's against you. You stop trying to manipulate every outcome. You simply walk in confidence, knowing that favor is working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. You stop chasing blessings, and blessings start chasing you. Favor doesn't mean you won't have opposition. Favor doesn't mean you won't have to wait sometimes. Favor doesn't mean every day will be easy. But it does mean that even when the odds are stacked against you, even when the enemy tries to block you, even when the door seems sealed shut, God's favor will make a way where there is no way. Tonight I want to declare over you, favor is about to open doors you didn't even knock on. Favor is about to connect you to people you never even thought you would meet. Favor is about to lift you to levels you thought were beyond your reach. You don't have to force it, you don't have to fake it, you just have to walk by faith and trust that God's favor is enough. So don't get discouraged if your effort hasn't produced the breakthrough yet. That just means it's time for favor to step in. That just means God is setting you up for something so extraordinary, so undeniable, that when it happens, all you'll be able to say is, it was nobody but God. Get ready, because when favor opens a door, no one and nothing can close it. We live in a world that is obsessed with opportunity. Everybody's looking for the next big thing, the next big break, the next open door. And hear me, there's nothing wrong with opportunity. There's nothing wrong with being prepared when the door swings open. But I came to tell somebody tonight that not every door in your life is going to open because of opportunity. Some doors are going to open because of obedience. Opportunity may knock, but obedience is what turns the handle. Obedience is what moves heaven. Obedience is what unlocks supernatural doors. And the thing about obedience is that it often doesn't make sense at the time. God will ask you to step out when you can't see the next step. He'll ask you to sow when you feel like you have nothing left to give. He'll ask you to serve when you feel overlooked. He'll ask you to forgive when you want to stay bitter. And it's in those moments, not when everything is easy, not when the opportunities are lined up, but when it costs you something, that obedience becomes the key that unlocks your next level. Some of you are waiting for the perfect opportunity to step into your destiny, but God is waiting for you to simply obey what He already told you. He's saying, if you'll trust me in the small, I'll open the big. If you'll say yes in the hidden place, I'll bless you in the public place. The door you're praying for may not open with your resume. It may open with your obedience. See, God doesn't measure success the way we do. We look at how big the opportunity is. We look at how many followers, how many views, how much applause. But God looks at the heart. God looks at the posture. God says, can I trust you to be faithful when no one is clapping? Can I trust you to be consistent when nobody's watching? Can I trust you to say yes when it doesn't seem to make sense? Because if you'll obey in the small things, God will release the big things. You might be saying, but God, it's just a small step. Take it. But God, it's just a small act of service. Do it. But God, it's just a little act of kindness, a little word of encouragement, a little moment of faithfulness. Be obedient anyway. Because what looks small to you is huge to heaven. Heaven celebrates obedience more than opportunity. And listen, sometimes your obedience will unlock doors for generations after you. Sometimes your yes won't just open a door for you, it'll open a door for your children and your children's children. Obedience has a ripple effect that goes beyond what you can see. One act of obedience can shift the course of your whole bloodline. One simple yes can release blessings you can't even imagine. Maybe you're standing at a door right now and it feels locked. Maybe you're knocking and knocking, but nothing's moving. Could it be that God is saying, I'm not waiting on the opportunity to change, I'm waiting on your obedience to unlock it? Could it be that the door isn't stuck, it's simply waiting for you to move by faith, to act when you don't have all the answers, to trust when it's uncomfortable? Obedience is powerful because it says, God, I trust you more than I trust what I can see. It says, God, even if this doesn't make sense to my natural mind, even if the opportunity looks small, even if the path looks uncertain, I'm going to move because you said move. I'm going to sow because you said sow. I'm going to forgive because you said forgive. I'm going to take the step because you said step. And here's the thing about obedience, it will never leave you empty. You may not see the reward immediately. You may not feel the blessing overnight. But obedience always leads to overflow, always. God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him, who faithfully follow Him, who walk by faith and not by sight. Tonight I want to challenge you, don't wait for the perfect opportunity to obey. Don't wait for all the conditions to line up. Don't wait till you feel ready.
Move in obedience now. Speak when he tells you to speak. Move when he tells you to move. Love when he tells you to love. Forgive when he tells you to forgive. Give when he tells you to give. And trust that your obedience is unlocking doors you can't even see yet. There are doors that no opportunity could ever open for you, but one step of obedience can fling them wide open. There are blessings with your name on them. There are breakthroughs with your fingerprint on them, but they're waiting on your yes. They're waiting on your trust. They're waiting on your obedience. And when you look back over your life, you're going to realize it wasn't just the opportunities that changed everything. It was the quiet, hidden moments of obedience that nobody saw but heaven. It was your yes in the dark that brought you into the light. It was your yes when it was hard that ushered you into a season of favor, blessing, and overflow like you never dreamed. Get ready, because your obedience is about to unlock a door that no man, no enemy, no circumstance will ever be able to shut. As I stand here with you tonight, I want you to know something deep in your soul. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not abandoned in the waiting, not hidden in the struggle, not passed over in the silence. You are seen by a God who loves you more than you could ever imagine. A God who has been orchestrating every detail of your life with precision, care, and purpose. Right now, even if you can't feel it, even if you can't see it, his hands are working behind the scenes, preparing doors you didn't even know existed, setting up opportunities you didn't even know to pray for. I came to tell you tonight, with everything inside of me, that God is about to open a door you didn't even knock on. And when that door swings open, you're going to realize that it was his love that carried you all along. It was his grace that sustained you in the dark. It was his favor that made a way where there seemed to be no way. You're going to look back over the hard nights, the unanswered prayers, the moments you almost gave up, and you'll see it. God was never late. He was right on time, shaping you, refining you, preparing you for a blessing so big, it could only be called a miracle. I know the road hasn't been easy. I know the tears you cried behind closed doors. I know the battles you fought silently, the questions you wrestled with in the midnight hour. But let me remind you, those tears were never wasted. Those prayers never hit the ceiling and fell back down. Your faithfulness, your trust, your obedience, even when it hurt, even when it didn't make sense, has been building something eternal in you. You are stronger than you think. You are braver than you feel. And you are closer than you realize. You are standing on the edge of a new beginning. You are closer to the door than you have ever been before. And when it opens, it's going to be better than what you dreamed, bigger than what you hoped for, and more beautiful than what you imagined. It's not just about a promotion, a relationship, or a breakthrough. It's about destiny. It's about walking in the fullness of who you were created to be. It's about stepping into the life that was written for you before you were even born. A life filled with peace, purpose, and promise. And tonight I want you to feel my heart for you, not just as a speaker standing on a stage, but as someone who genuinely believes in the greatness inside of you. I want you to know that I am standing with you, believing for you, cheering for you. I want you to know that you are not running this race alone. We are in this together, linked arm in arm, heart to heart, believing for the unimaginable, reaching for the miraculous, trusting for the doors that no man can shut. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders, breathe deep, walk boldly, keep knocking where God says knock, keep trusting even when it's silent. Keep obeying, even when it's hard, because the God who started the good work in you is faithful to finish it. He is a door opener, He is a waymaker, and He is about to show up and show off in your life in a way that will leave you speechless with gratitude. I bless you tonight with strength for the journey. I bless you with hope that refuses to quit. I bless you with a faith so fierce that no delay can destroy it. And I bless you with the overwhelming, unstoppable, undeniable favor of God, opening doors you didn't even knock on. Get ready, the best is yet to come, and the door is about to open just for you.